This is Tom Pace from the Talk of the Town, and as you can see, behind me is the Multicultural Center of the South, major tourist destination right here in Shreveport, Bossier. We're right at the corner of Spring Street and Milam in downtown Shreveport, right across the Red River, Bossier City. There are hundreds of businesses and organizations that are designed to promote business and tourism. That's why we're doing this series of business spotlights. Well, you probably figured it out. We're inside the Multicultural Center of the South right here at the corner of Spring and Milam Street in downtown Shreveport, and with Janice Gatlin, who's the executive director here. And Miss Janice, what a beautiful facility you have.
Thank you, Tom. A lot of work went into putting this facility together, so I'm really glad that you think it's beautiful.
Well, not only is it beautiful, but I mean, it's one of only 2 or 3 in the United States.
That's correct. It's a one of 3 in the United States.
And inside, as I mentioned, 26 different cultures around northwest Louisiana are represented here.
Right, and of those 26, we have 18 on display.
So right here, we're in the Indian display, obviously.
Correct.
What's so important about this?
Well, you have a lot of different aspects of the culture. You have the music that's part of the culture, and a replica of one of the most famous buildings in India, the Taj Mahal.
Now, if we look at this museum as a whole, who does it benefit, and when are you open, and why should people come here?
Well, it benefits everybody. It benefits the young and the old, but especially the children. They can come to the center and actually see and get a feel and hands-on of the things that they've been learning in their textbooks about the different countries.
So if you're looking from a historical point of view, kids could come here and actually write a report about various countries.
We have lots of college students to come in here that are looking to write their papers, end-of-year papers and all, and they have to come here in order to do some research and get ideas about their paper.
And again, we're talking with Janice Gatlin, who is the executive director for the Multicultural Center of the South. What a beautiful facility here. It's on 2 stories, and it's sort of almost like an antebellum type French facade outside.
From what I understand, this building has a little history to it. During the Civil War, it actually housed the generals. This was the headquarters for the generals. Guess when Shreveport was the capital at that time?
Well, how about that? Now, the thing that we want you to know is that it's open for tours of groups, and we're talking about school kids and organizations. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's school kids, tourists from out of town. If you're having a convention or something here, please put us on the list as one of your stops to bring your guests by. Now,
whenever we say put us on your list, they can call you. How else do they get in contact?
They can call us at 318-424-1380, or they can go to our website and send us an email.
And the website is?
mccsouth.org.
mccsouth.org. It's very simple. And when you talk about the Multicultural Center, we talked about India. Some of the other cultures that are here.
We have Africa, we have the Creole, Cajun, Japan, China, the Philippines, Scotland, Greece, Native American, Hispanic.
Boy, I tell you, you've got it's a montage of everything. In fact, in the Japanese exhibit, there's also a wedding bed in there, I understand.
The wedding bed is in the Chinese exhibit. It's 2,000-year-old marriage bed in there.
So if you don't believe me, you need to come here and see for yourself. This is very unique. It's one-of-a-kind things that, hey, there's only 3 of these centers in the United States. One of them right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Miss Janice, final thoughts on the value of this?
Like I said, Tom, it has an educational value, and especially for our young people, they can actually get to come here and see, touch, and feel, and get an idea of what they're actually learning in their textbooks.
So it's history years gone by, and about to make more history as they learn what it was like back then and what the culture is of today. So the Multicultural Center of the South truly is a one-of-a-kind treasure right here in Northwest Louisiana, in the Arklatex, and in the United States. So if you're looking for a place to bring your child, not only for their education, but also for fun for them to learn, then make it the Multicultural Center of the South, right here at the corner of Spring and Milam Street, downtown Shreveport. Tom Pace, a business spotlight on the Talk of the Town. Tom Pace with the Talk of the Town. A business spotlight today at the one and only, the world-famous American Rose Center just outside of Greenwood, Louisiana. And by the way, just a short 15-minute drive down I-20 from downtown Shreveport. We're here with Mark Kerr, who's going to give us an actual tour of the facility. And Mark, I understand you also have a DJ service.
Yes, Tom, that's correct. I am one of the full-time professional vendors that works with classic events here at the American Rose Center. And the name of my company is called Mark Kerr Entertainment, which is www.markkerrdj.com.
And as you come inside, you'll meet Lou Kerr, who's the events director and coordinator for classic events at the American Rose Center. Believe it or not, Miss Lou also was the personal butler for President George W. Bush on his stay in Bossier. Now let's go inside and get that tour. Well, we're inside the big banquet facility here at the American Rose Center. It's located just outside of Greenwood, Louisiana. And inside here is where your event could be catered if you have a large group, small group, whatever the deal is. And Classic Events and Catering now is in charge of all that. Mark Kerr, tell us about what it all does.
Well, as of January of this year, Classic Events and Catering took over the American Rose Center and turned it into a one-stop shop. Now, that basically means that we can accommodate our customers' every need, no matter what the event is.
And whenever you're talking about that, what are the different avenues that you cover?
Well, we offer the very best in banquet facilities for meetings, weddings, wedding receptions, and plus parties of any kind. Also, we offer the very best vendors to supply our clients with flowers, decorations, cakes, photography, and even DJ services.
And if you're talking about having a good chef, not only do they have a good chef, they've got a great chef, their executive chef that's in charge here.
Yes, that would be Chef Walter Floyd, who is also the owner of Classic Events and Catering. And he was formerly the executive chef for Binion Steakhouse at the Horseshoe Casino and Hotel.
Okay, Mark, so tell us, right here at the American Rose Center outside of Greenwood, what are the hours of the operation?
Well, we are open for tours of the grounds and facility from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. But our management team answers our voicemails and emails 7 days a week in a very timely manner.
And how would they get in touch with you?
Well, they can call the main line, which is 938-4014.
318-938-4014. And is there any other way they can contact you through email or anything like that?
Well, our customers can contact Lou Kerr, who is our events director, and her email address is LOUKERR@live.com. So that would be loukerr@live.com.
And just what future does Classic Events and Catering have planned for the American Rose Center?
Well, we want to be the premier venue for lunches, meetings, and tour groups. Of course, many people in the area already know that we're well known for our beautiful gardens, as well as hosting weddings and wedding receptions. But we want Shreveport, Bossier, and the surrounding areas to know that Classic Events and Catering at the American Rose Center can meet their needs no matter what their event is.
Well, as you can see, we're outside this 112-acre facility of the American Rose Center. 45 acres actually developed. And Mark, there's an area over here where there's actually a garden, right?
That's correct. That's Austin Garden. And then over to the left here, we have Hardner Chapel, where if you're going to have a party of around 100 people or so, you can use that to get married. And then also we have the Watkins Reflection Pool, and you can also use this area to get married as well, and we decorate it real nice. Also, we have 3 other facilities on the grounds on the outside here that you can use as well to get married. Now, you can also have your receptions outside here as well, or any kind of a party, or even you can hold meetings on the outside here because we do have large tents available.
Well, as we wrap up this business spotlight look at the American Rose Center right here outside of Greenwood, Louisiana, Tom Pace with you and Mark Kerr. This is the place if you're going to have a wedding, a banquet, a facility that will encompass all of that inside and outside, as you've seen at the Reflection Pool and other areas. And we just want you to remember the American Rose Center for your next big event with classic events and catering and Chef Walter Floyd. And we certainly want to thank Mark Kerr for taking us on this tour. Mark, thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Tom.
For the Talk of the Town, I'm Tom Pace. Tom Pace on the Talk of the Town. Today inside Caddo Parish Courthouse with the Honorable Judge Scott Creighton, who is the first district court judge in this courtroom. And today Judge Creighton is talking about a program that he began some years ago called Don't Let This Be You, and another one just recently created called Sexting, Texting, and Beyond. Judge, you've been doing this for a number of years. It's directed at the youth of our area, right?
It is. The Don't Let This Be You program is designed primarily for high school kids and their parents, and I also encourage teachers to attend. It's a crime prevention education program.
What is the whole thrust of it? Because there's a lot of people that wonder, well, if they're juveniles, they can't be charged as an adult.
Well, the fact of the matter is that if one is a juvenile, age 15 or 16, and he commits a certain felony, a certain high-grade felony, he can be prosecuted in adult court. And in fact, that's how I started the program. I had 6 or 8 or so 15-year-olds in my courtroom one day charged with violent felony crimes, armed robbery, aggravated rape, second-degree murder. They're prosecuted as adults. And I thought it was time to start trying to educate our teenagers about the perils of misconduct. Now, these were serious crimes, serious violations of law, of course, but they're prosecuted as adults, and they need to understand that they have consequences for committing crimes.
So this program now has been done throughout the area. Probably you've had well over 1,000 presentations.
I've had certainly hundreds of presentations in the past 6 years, and by my count, I have presented this to almost 20,000 kids in the Shreveport-Caddo Parish area. And that would be about 20,000 kids and parents and teachers. I try to keep a rough count. But, you know, for example, I may teach at a high school and I may have 1,100 students there. You know, I might teach at a church and there may be 400 members of that church, teenagers and parents. And so you do that a number of times and it adds up. My count is somewhere around 20,000.
If we're looking at that and you're teaching them the consequences of various felonies, now there's this thing called sexting and texting, and now that's a violation. It's a state law, correct?
It is. The Louisiana legislature some couple of years ago drafted a law on sexting, and of course it's bewildering to all of us to think that we need a statute or a law criminalizing that kind of behavior. One would think that one wouldn't do it. However, there is a problem, and it's a real problem in high schools and even middle schools. And so I decided to prepare a PowerPoint program on the various electronic crimes: sexting, cyberbullying, cyber stalking, and texting while driving. And I present that program at middle schools as well as high schools.
Are you seeing that more and more schools are wanting access to that program that you present?
You know, it's amazing. I've had more requests from middle schools to present this program than I have for high schools. I have requests from both, but it's stunning to me that the issue of sexting is a problem in middle schools. I would think that surely there shouldn't be a problem in that regard at all. But it's not only a problem in high schools, but it's a problem in middle schools. So the greater demand for this program is actually for 8th graders and 7th graders in middle school.
Now, if one were to try and contact you and to get you to make this presentation, how would they do it?
Well, they can contact Andrea Samuel at the Caddo Correctional Center Regional Training Academy. Her number is 681-0735. She takes care of the scheduling for me and assists me in that regard. And you can also call my assistant Leanne, and her number is 226-6818. And I will schedule an event at any school. I have not ever turned down a school, and I look forward to presenting the program. Again, I've done the Don't Let This Be You for now 6 years, and the Sexting, Texting, and Beyond program for about 2 years. And it's a good thing to get me out, and I like the idea of being able to get out on a Friday morning for a couple hours and present this to high school kids or middle school kids and their parents. Again, I recommend that parents join their teenagers with regard to these programs and learn about these issues.
I see you've got a couple of what you actually have handouts. Don't Let This Be You, PowerPoint presentation about the consequences and power of choice. That's one of them. And the other one is Sexting, Texting, and Beyond, and you did this one at the Montessori School for Shreveport.
That is correct.
So if you look at all this and you put it all together, what is your final takeaway you want people to remember?
Well, my takeaway is that kids not engage in this type of behavior for several reasons. One is it's dangerous. Secondly, it is illegal. The Don't Let This Be You program, for example, I cover just a medley of issues, including drug use, drug addiction, hanging out with the wrong crowd. I even talk about paternity, because we have some teenagers who are becoming parents. I talk about the obligations of paternity and child support, and they need to be advised about all of the laws that apply to their behavior. With regard to the electronic crimes, if there is sexting going on, it is something that one cannot take back. And they need to understand that number one, they can't take it back, and number two, it is a violation of law. Now, when these kids go to apply for college, there's a little question about any arrests or any summons for criminal behavior. They don't want to put on their sexting. They don't want to put on that little explanation sheet that I was arrested for cyberbullying at my school. The fact is, if they do that, they may very well not get in the college of their choice. So really, all of this is about the power of choice, and all of this is about crime prevention through education.
There you have it. Crime prevention through education from the Honorable Judge Scott Creighton right here at the Caddo Parish Courthouse, the 1st Judicial District. Tom Pace, the Talk of the Town, a special judicial spotlight. Tom Pace with the Talk of the Town, another business spotlight, and boy, is it a big one. I just turned 65 recently, and Medicare kicked in. And we're here with Leonard Gressens today. And Leonard, tell everybody what your position is, where you work.
Well, I'm the managing producer for Cornerstone Financial Services. We're a full-service insurance agency. We focus on Medicare supplemental plans.
Now, I know whenever I talked with the Caddo Council on Aging and people like that, they said there's a lot of things you need to know, and I wound up getting a book kind of like, what, this one?
Mm-hmm. That's the Medicare and You book.
Medicare and You, and it's about 120 pages. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a hard time just getting through 5 or 10 pages. Do you understand what's in here?
I understand what's in here, but like I said, it will put you to sleep, and there's a lot to learn and a lot to know. So.
Can you capsulize it for those people needing help?
Yeah, we can. We usually can be able to sit down at a table, either at their house or in our office, and we can pretty much go through all the parts of Medicare, explaining what the deductibles are, all that type of stuff, and what their cost would be.
Now, how many people are actually coming into Medicare? By the way, I know a year ago it was a big wave. This is the second big wave this year.
This is the second big wave, and as a matter of fact, welcome to your golden years, okay? and you would think that it's going to be easy and everything's going to work right out, but you've got a lot of decisions to make. There's 16,000 people a day that are aging into Medicare.
16,000 a day?
16,000 a day. That's almost 80,000 a month that that's going to be adding to the Medicare rolls.
Well, now, I tended to think that Medicare was going to handle all my medical bills. Is that so?
No, it's not so. As a matter of fact, with Medicare, you have two parts to Medicare. There's Part A and there's Part B. The Part A is your hospital benefit, okay? And there is a deductible that you have to meet with that hospital benefit. That deductible for 2012 is $1,156. Now, that's the part you have to pay before even the hospital will sometimes let you in the door. And then there's a deductible also with your Part B being your medical or your medical equipment stuff that you would do. And the deductible for that is $140, and then you're going to be responsible for 20% after Medicare pays their 80%. So there are some costs that are still involved.
Gee, it sounds like big cost. Is there a way, is there some sort of supplement or something that one can take that will ease that burden?
Absolutely. And that's what we specialize in, is looking at the supplemental plans that are out there. And we can do different plans almost all the way from a no cost for a premium all the way up to around $130 a month premium, which basically will pretty much pay almost everything for your Part A and Part B.
Wow. Now, that's exciting news. In fact, I know that the Medicare and You goes to just about everybody. It's mailed out.
Right.
And also, now, what about this choosing Medigap policy, which is a supplement?
But this is the supplemental plan, Medigap, Medicare supplemental. You'll hear a number of different names out there, but this is also available through Medicare or through the Social Security Administration, or you can get it here at our office and everything. It'll go through all the different plans that are available out there to you, what they'll cover, and that type of stuff that is a part of Medicare and what you would be responsible for.
See, that's the thing that you'd want to know, especially if you are 65, about to turn 65, because they're going to be sending it to you right about when you're hitting 64, near the end of it.
About 3 months before you turn 65, you should start getting things.
I got mine, and so then I went to the Caddo Council on Aging and spoke to Mary Alice Roundtree over there and some of their experts, and then they in turn said, well, you can talk to any number of producers in the field that can assist in that. Now, again, we're with Leonard Gressens, and your position again?
I'm the managing producer for Cornerstone Financial Services, and again, we're a full-service insurance agency, but we try to focus on the Medicare and Medicare supplemental plans.
And if you stop and think that there's 80,000 people turning 65 every month, you're talking big numbers, nearly 1 million in a year.
That's right. I mean, and that's the thing. And that's, like I said, this is that second big wave, and that's going to be for the next 20 years is we're going to see that kind of growth in Medicare.
Well, what we want you to do is we want you to remember that if you have needs and it regards Medicare, you can talk to Leonard Gressens over here at Cornerstone Financial. He'll be able to help you and help you get through your golden years. Tom Pace on the Talk of the Town. Tom Pace on the Talk of the Town. Today, another business spotlight, and today, a very special business that deals in humans. I mean us, everyday people. Have you ever had a situation where you needed somebody to turn to and didn't know where to go, who to talk to? Darrell Tuberville here is the chaplain for the Caddo Sheriff's Office and also the owner of Personal Solutions for You. Personal Solutions, Darrell, what does that mean?
Personal Solutions is, Tom, that we try to help people who are in a position that they don't know what to do next, either for themselves in a mental health type issue, in a behavioral type issue, or a family, marriage type issue. We help them get to a place that they can't get to on their own. So.
What about in work? Many times people,
Right.
they have stressors and they have situations in work. Maybe they're not getting along, or maybe some of the people they deal with.
We do that as well. We have an employee assistance segment of our company that goes into businesses, and we have several businesses that we work with around town, Christus Schumpert, Barksdale Federal Credit Union, Ballantine Ambulance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that we provide employee assistance programs for. Exactly that. We help them with conflict resolution. We help them with problem-solving models. We help them with understanding personality and how those things work together. And we also help them with assigning the correct personality to the correct job position that they're looking for.
Now, there's another issue that we're facing and seeing more and more today are kids, children, many times that are at conflict with their parents. Parents many times just don't know what to do or who to turn to, Darrell.
Right. We have specialists that do that, Tom, that work with parenting issues. We also have a clinical psychologist, Dr. Nelson, who does evaluations, ADHD, school-type evaluations, parenting evaluations, evaluations for court situations, things like that. So we try to help the families learn both to parent as well as to learn the developmental stages of children.
Now, what about you? How long have you been doing this, and what's your degree?
Well, I have a degree in human services counseling, a PhD, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and marriage and family therapist, and have several certifications in trauma and trauma recovery, as well as sex offense and things like that. So we provide a variety of services through our education. We have Dr. Borneman, who works with us, Patty Borneman. She works with family issues, women's issues, bariatric weight issues, things like that. And then we have Dr. Dana Nelson, who is our clinical psychologist. Dr. Borneman is a licensed professional counselor, marriage and family therapist like myself. And then we have Dr. Dana Nelson, who is a clinical psychologist, licensed with the state. And then we have Craig Kennedy, who is a master's level therapist, and he's a clinical pastoral counselor.
And you, having been also a chaplain for the Shreveport Fire Department for some 20 years, and now working with Caddo Sheriff's Office, many times I guess people see you in different roles. Sometimes they might be facing an issue where they've had a traumatic event, loss of a loved one, or a home or something.
Exactly. For the Sheriff's Department, I do a lot of the death notifications if people are involved in automobile accidents or they lose a loved one in a fire in the parish or something like that. Then I work with the Sheriff's Department in grief issues, and so I'm also a grief counselor, and we have grief counseling here for post-traumatic events, the events such as a fall at work where a person has difficulty going back to work. We work with oncology patients who have been diagnosed with cancer, and how does the family adjust with those types of issues, and also those involved in active dying.
Tell us, how would someone get in touch with you? What's the best way? And is there an email?
There is. We have a website at personalsolutions.com, personalsolutionsinc.com. And our phone number here is 318-686-0012. And we are here in Shreveport at 8873 Quimper Place, which is behind the Auto Mall off East Burt Coons.
Everybody needs help. Just remember, Darrell Tuberville, Personal Solutions, Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm Tom Pace for the Talk of the Town.